Hello guys, welcome to SLT Learning. This is Ankit Prajapati and today we are going to cover the second part of MySQL series. Today we are going to talk about the data definition language, how the different operation we do using in the data definition language. Hope you have watched my first part about the installation and configuration of MySQL Workbench. If you have not, just go through that particular part one, so you will get some idea the basic terminology about the MySQL that we are going to use in this session. Okay, so let's we start with the data definition language, the DDL part today. So let me just open the notes and let me just show you what we are going to cover today. So as we did in the first session, right? I will put this all this information in the comment section. Learning part 2 TTL, right? And we are going to cover today few operation which we count in the TTL create statement, right? When it says create, that means database and tables. We will see how we can create a database and tables. Then we will do the alter uh, database and tables. Right? We'll see the alter, how we can alter the informations in the database and all those things. Then we will also see about the rename, how you can rename the column name or something like that. Right? We can also alter the column. Then last we will see drop database and table. Okay. So these four things we are going to cover in this short video. So let's we go to the MySQL Workbench, right? So I click on this one. I will click on this one. You see MySQL Workbench, and I show you how to create the new connection in the first video, right? So I'm going to take this one, the Ankit one, and it will open this particular video, right? This particular screen. So you already aware about this screen, the basic terminology about these screens, right? So let's we do one thing. Let's we focus on the scripting, how to write the query itself, right? So first of all, what we require, right? We require to create a database, right? So what we will do, we will first create the database. So I will use create database, and what will be the name of the database? I will just say human resource management system, HRMS, right? So I will just give this information over here. You see, as of now there are three databases, the default database available in the MySQL, but I'm going to create the new one on which we are going to work. So I'll just create database HRMS, and I'll just hit on this one, execute. So it says database created, one row affected. Now if I will refresh this one, it will give me the fourth database. Now everything will be there, right? We will learn all those things, tables, view, store, procedure, function in this particular web series. So please stay tuned and subscribe to our channel if you want to know one by one each and every steps about that things. Today we are going to learn how to create a database and how we can create the tables into that. So I created database. Now what we can do, now we need to create the, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the syntax, just going to take the syntax and put in the over here. This is for you, right? It will be helpful. I will just modify a few of the formation over here and I will just paste in the YouTube videos description box, right? We created new database HRMS. Now we need to create the table, right? What should be the table definition? I will say let's we create even table for the employee, right? So what you can do over here, I will just delete this one now and I will just start with the create table. So create table, right? Create table, and I will give name employee details, right? And this is a syntax as well, guys. Always make sure whenever you start creating the table, you need to add this, or you can add like this way as well. Then start writing, right? So what we have in the employee table, we can just say is employee ID, which should be the integer, and we can also consider as a primary key and auto increment, right? So you can define like this way. So what I define, the column name, employee ID, the type of column, it should be the primary key, and it should be auto increment, right? So value should be auto increment. Now what next? So I will just say first name, and it should be the varchar. I will just give 30, or I will give 20, the first name. Then we have last name. This is how you can create the different tables based on your definition. Okay, guys. Then we can also keep the salary in this table. So I will just say integer, this is 20, or I will just say okay, salary will be the per month. That will be fine. No need to define over here. Then I will just say joining date. I will just say date time, right? Joining date time. I can just put, okay, I need to put the comma over here. Comma. Joining date. What else we can put over here, guys? Let's keep the department, in which department they are working, right? So I will just give, okay. So let's keep as of now this information. If you want to include anything, you can also include, right? But let's keep this as of now, right? And we can also define the engine, right? I will just keep InnoDB. I'll just keep InnoDB, right? And I will show you what is the difference between the InnoDB and MySQL. These are the two types of the database engine which we can include in the database. MySQL mostly used for the small set of database where we have the less value amount of data. In the InnoDB, we can use for the big enterprise database, right? So for that we use the InnoDB, and InnoDB is a bit faster than the MySQL. Okay. So this is our definition. It's not showing any error over here, right? We will run this particular query, and we will see what happened. It might be give us some error or something like that, but let me show you what is that. This is all about the learning, right? So I'm just going to click on the execute this one. So it give me the error, right? And over it says no database selected, right? So always make sure you should always use this one. Use send a database name HRMS, right? Always keep this one, because if you work on the MS SQL, right? SQL Management Studio, then you have the drop down to select the database. But over here in the MySQL workbench, you need to write this command. Use which database you need to use. This is the difference, guys, over here. Okay, so that's a intentionally I keep this particular error for you, so you can learn from it, right? So okay, now if I will run this query, what will happen? Let's see. Okay, so it says create table and one particular row is affected and table is created. Now you see over here it says nothing. If I refresh it, it says okay, I have the one table. You see it's got the one table. And if you go into that one, you can see the different columns, right? Different columns, which is the indexes. You can see the primary keys and all those things. So over here you can see the primary keys is employee ID, right? So all those information is available now into the table now. So what is the next steps, guys? What is the next steps? Let's suppose we covered about the create database and create the particular table. Now let's we do one thing. Let's we go with the another syntax about the alter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this one in my notes. I will keep this one over here in notes, right? I will put all those things information for you. Okay, create notes. Now let's we go with the alter. How you can use the alter table, right? We can also go with the insert the information, update the information, but all those information we will talk in the data manipulation language part. So it will be the third video. So in that we will see how we can insert and how we can update, how we can select the information, how we can delete the information. But as of now, let's we talk about the alter, how you can do the alteration. Okay. So let me show you how you can use the alter command. So now we have this information, right? Let's suppose I'm going to remove this one. Let's suppose if you want to alter or change the data, change the database name. Oh, sorry, change the table name. How you can do that? Okay. But before that, let me cover one more thing. You see, you have created these tables, right, which is permanent to this particular database. But there is one more question it might be asking the interview, how you can create the temporary table from the one table, right? So what you can say to them, there is a one syntax in the MySQL, create temporary table, right? And you need to give the table name. I will just says employee. And what information it should pick? It should take all the information. Sorry, it should take all the information from employee details table. You see, so this is how you can create this particular temporary table. So what, how it will work? Let me just delete this one, right? And you see, it says, okay, I need to create one temporary table in this particular database for this particular session called employee, and what the information I need to put, all the information is available in the employee table. So this is another syntax you can create the temporary table, right? If you run this one, what it will do, it will create the temporary table, right? And now if you just says select star from employee, right? Let me just remove this one. Just remove this one. And now if you say select star from employee, which is temporary table, right? And you hit over here, then it says, okay, employee ID, first name, last name, salary, joining, database. So all the same structure, it will be covered over here. If you have any data information in the employee tab, employee detail table, then it also come over here. So this is how you can create the temporary table, right? Now if you want to drop the temporary table or drop the table, then the syntax will be drop table and table name, right? Drop table and table name. So now if I use this particular command with this database and I will just run it, it says drop table, one row affected. And now if I will search this particular table, select star from employee, it should says table does not exist. You see, at the bottom it says table does not exist, means table is not available because it was the temporary and I have just dropped it. Okay, so this is how you can create the temporary table as well, guys. I will put the definition over here and you can just copy this definition whenever you require, because when you do the advanced level of the script SQL query writing, you require to create some temporary table to fetch some information and make some joins over there, right? So that's the reason. Now let's go with the alter. So what we have one database HRMS and we have one table employee detail. So I need to change this particular table name. I need to alter the table name, right? So how I can do that, guys? How I can do that? If I need to modify the table name, right? Or if I need to rename the table name, how I can do that? So there is one command, one syntax over here. You can say rename table employee details to employee, right? This is how you can change, you can rename the employee table, employee detail table to employee, right? If I run this one and if I refresh this one, you see the table name is changed over here, employee now, right? So whatever the action we will do now, we will do on the employee table. If you want to change back as it is, what you can do, you can just write the syntax like that way, just reversing the syntax, right? And if I run this one now, it will again rename the table. You see employee detail. So rename table employee and employee detail will work for to change the table name, right? Now let's we go with the alter. How you can do the alter, right? So let's suppose you have the requirement to change the salary to the per month salary or salary per month. The column name of the salary should be the salary per month. So how you can do that? So there is syntax called alter. So I will just says alter table, sorry, alter table, right? What is a table? Table name should be employee details, right? Employee details, because we have changed the rename again. So employee detail. Now what we need to do? What we need to do over here? So we need to just says We can also use these modify, right? We can use the modify. So what I can say is I can just say change salary to salary per month, right? Or I can say I can use the modify salary with a new column name salary, and I will just say where 20. Right? I think it's not working like that way. Let me just see the syntax. Okay, we can use this change over here. Change, right? Salary to salary per month, and this should be the new data type. So this is how we can alter the table and modify the column name over here. Okay, so I will click on this one and we will see, because there are many keywords change, modify, rename in the MySQL or in the MS SQL. So sometimes you get confused, right? But if you learn like that way, if you just forgot something, you just try to catch up from your notes, it will be always useful, right? So always keep your note with you. So it says alter table employee change salary to salary per month with this new data type. Okay, now if I will refresh this one, this will change the salary per month, right? In the same way, if I need to alter the information, what I need to do, I need to just cut this from over here. I just says this is my correct as of now column name, and I need to change from this one salary. So I can also rename it, right? If I refresh this one, you see again it's changed over here. So I will take this one, and this is also useful, right? I will just keep this as a note, right? I will keep as a note. This is the syntax you can use to alter the table. Now let's suppose if you want to add some new column over here, completely new column, guys, right? So how you can do that? So for that we have the syntax, right? So let's suppose if you want to add the city column, right? If you want to add the city column for that particular employee, so I will just say alter table employee details, right? And add city with the data type okay 20, right? So what it will do, it will add the new column city in this particular table. So now if I run this one, right, you see it's one row affected over here, and if I refresh this one, it just says city, right? So this is how we can add the new column over here. Now let's suppose if you want to add another one, it says country, right? You can same way you can add the country, and you can refresh. Now, suppose if you want to delete any of the column, right? Let's suppose I need to delete the column country. So how you can do that, right? So for that we have the another syntax. So it just says alter table employee details drop. We can use the drop keyword city or country, right? So what it will do, it will drop this particular column from this table. So now if I will run this one and refresh this particular screen, it says the country column is removed from the table now. So this is how you can drop the column as well, right? Okay, now what next? Let's suppose if you want to change the data type, this is a city, we have set the varchar 20, right? If you want to change the data type to the integer, right? Or the salary is in the varchar, right? You see salary is in the varchar. Now if you want to change the data type to integer, how you can do that? To change the data type of particular column. So alter table employee details, right? Then you can use modify. If you remember, to change the column name, we have used the keyword change, but over here you can use the modify. column, which column you need to modify. So column, I will just say salary to integer 30, right? So now the salary column has the varchar 20 as a data type. It will go sent to the integer 30. So I'm going to run this one, and you said it's one row affected, zero row affected. It has run successfully. So now if I will refresh this one, if I mouse over here, so it says integer, right? And for the integer, we no need to define the size, so it will not taking the size. It just says salary. Now it's converted to integer. Let's do one thing. Let's we again convert back to the varchar. Or we can convert to the long, right? The long. It will be take the long value for the integer, right? And we will run this one. Okay, so it will alter the table to the long now. So if I refresh this one, if I mouse over here, just refresh this one, mouse over here, it says medium, sorry, for the salary, it says medium text, right? Because I change to long. If you want to change the varchar again, right? If I run this one, and if I refresh this one, then again it says salary varchar 30 as it is, right? So this is how you can modify the column data type as well, right? So far we have learned how to create the database, how to create the table, how you can alter the table name, how you can rename the table name, how you can rename the column name, right? How you can add the new column, how you can drop the column from the table, and how you can modify the data type for any of the particular column name in the table. So the fourth thing we need to see is drop, right? How you can drop particular information. So let's suppose we need to drop this particular table, right? We need to drop this particular table employee details, right? So we can use this command drop table employee detail tables. If you remember the same command we used to drop the temporary table, so same command we need to use for to run the particular permanent table as well. So it's a drop table and table name, right? Again, if you want to check if the table is exist or not, then you can also use this syntax drop table if exist, then table name. This particular will give you one extra check before dropping the table, right? So it will be good. You can go with this one as well. You can also go with this one as well. So what I will do, I will just keep one of them. So let me take this one and I will just run this one. So I will use this particular database. I need to drop this particular table, right? So I'll click on the execute, right? And if I refresh this one, you see straight away it's dropped the table from the database. So now we have the zero table again. Now I need to drop this particular database itself, right? So what I can do, I can use drop database and the database name. Same syntax. Instead of table, you need to use database, and instead of the table name, you need to use the database name, right? And just run it. So you see, now we again have the three database as it is. So guys, what we learn in this particular session, right? Just hold on, let me just copy this one. These are the very basic syntax. You can just pause this video and you can write down the syntax as well. That will be very helpful for you to learn the things, right? If you just copy my syntax from the video description, it won't help you that much. But I want you just pause this video and learn by yourself. Okay. So what we learned this in today's session, guys. So in this today's session, we learn about create database and table, then alter or rename table name, sorry, alter table information, right? Column name, column data type, add new column, remove existing column, then we use the rename table and column name, Then at the last we use drop database and table from the systems, from the MySQL system. So all those information we learned in this today's session, right? So in the next session, we are going to learn about the data manipulation language, where we're going to focus on the insert, update, delete, right, and the select as well. So if you like this video, just please subscribe to my channel so you will get the notification of the upcoming videos as well. And if you want to share this video for your circle who are learning the MySQL from the scratch, right, you can also share this particular video as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. Let's connect again for the next session, which will be about the data manipulation language. Thank you.